Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to plumb for a rough-in one of these Delta rough-in shower valves. As you can see, I've already put the cap, the bottom piece in. I went ahead and sweat that. These are, I just cut these off of my tub spouts and then use them for these caps. You can buy a brass cap. Last time I checked at the H store, they were about $7.50 for a brass cap to spin on here. So that's way more than these female adapters by PEX, because we're converting it to PEX. Okay, so let me zoom in and let's get to work. Okay, basically we have everything we need here. We need 3 female adapters. They are called 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch FNPT female adapter. Basically, the 1/2 inch piece screws onto here, and then that gets it ready to accept a PEX connection. Okay, and so basically, if you're doing a tub spout, you would just have a 4th one of these, and instead of capping this off, you would put a 4th one on there. Okay, so you can't just screw them on. That's never gonna work. That'll never, you can get it as tight as you want and it'll never be waterproof. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take, actually before we take this off, I just want to say that Delta is definitely the way to go. The reason is it's readily available, but the 2 main reasons is their warranty is amazing. Whenever I have an issue, they will replace whatever at no extra charge, and then they'll even allow you to quick ship it for a few extra bucks. So I've had a $250, $300 valve. It was a water stop valve, like a hot, it had the hot, it was a pretty complicated valve. I think the retail on it was $250. And I got a bad one, and they just went ahead and replaced it for me with no questions asked. So anyways, also it is the easier of all the plumbing rough-ins. For ease of use, the less plumbing, the better for everybody. The more time you have to do your project, the less time the plumber's gonna spend, so he's not gonna charge you as much money, because those guys are really expensive. So anyways, Delta, definitely the way to go. If you're ever tiling your shower, tear out your old shower. If the showers are 20 or 30 years old or older, the idea is to replace it while you can, while you have access to that area. Because the rubber O-rings are only lasting 20 to 30 years, and then they wear out. They basically dry out, they get cracks in them, and then that's where you can get some leaks in your system, which you don't want. So if you have the opportunity to replace your shower valve, do that. Okay, let's get going. We're gonna take this off. This is your guide. You basically wanna, this is your 1/2 inch board that you're putting on the wall. And when you're framing the piece out, you wanna have this up connected. It's gonna screw into your stud, and you want this even with your 1/2 inch wall here. Okay. So anyways, that comes off. We're not gonna need that for a bit. And then this is the frame that screws into your wall that holds the valve to the wall. Let's take that off. All it has is these 2 tiny little screws. basically we're going to be cranking so hard that we're going to bend these little legs and pieces of metal. So let's just get that out of the way. We can put it back on once we have our caps installed, okay? Let's take this off too. This is going to get in our way, and we're not going to need that since we have the shower valve. I'll show you that later. You may want to put this on. The reason being might help you turn it when you're cranking on one of these sides here. So if you're cranking on that, that's going to feel better than the threads. It's the reason I have gloves on. I don't even have these gloves on because I need to be dexterous with the Teflon tape, and I can do that with these rubber gloves, and it gives me a little protection from my hands because we're going to be cranking so hard. Okay, so screwdriver, trash. All right. So Teflon tape. All three of these are getting Teflon tape. Teflon tape goes on like this in the direction of the threads. Now you might be surprised at how many times you're going to loop around on this. You're going to loop around 5 or 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you don't have any of those loose ends hanging off the end. And let's go ahead and go to the next one. The way you want to do that, you roll it on back. I call that backwards. But you roll it on like that. It's the easiest way. Make sure you're going the right direction, because when you screw it in and it's the wrong, you put it on the wrong direction. 2, 3, 4, 5. The threads, you're gonna be screwing it the wrong way, and the tape's not gonna work exactly the way you want it. So this way, you screw it on the way it is. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna lock in. It's not gonna pull the layers off. All right. Number 3. So it's not as, see how that I got it on that way? It's not as easy. You want to do it this way. And then it rolls right off. It's way more convenient. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can set your Teflon tape aside. Just something to note is that if you are gonna sweat this piece in, you want to make sure to do it before you do all this stuff, because you don't want to ruin the seal that we're making right now with the hot, because this whole thing's gonna heat up. Okay, and you definitely want to get this piece of plastic out of there. So just so you're aware. Okay, now we got our Pro Dope. This is a pipe joint compound. Basically, what I call it, it's kind of like a silicone that never bonds, and I don't think it ever dries. So just brush that on. Brush it on in the direction of the Teflon tape that you just put on. Otherwise, you're going to mess that up. Okay, I'm gonna do this one first, the top one. So once you put the Pro Dope on there and the 5 times around with the Teflon tape, you're ready to crank. So grab your big crescent wrench and get it to the right, and basically start spinning, and you want to run this thing down with all your power and all your strength. However you can get the best leverage on it. It's way easier with the other two because you can have both locked in. All right, I'm gonna change to the channel locks, see if that's gonna be easier for me. Let's open this up. Yes. Usually it feels like I can get it on there with more spins, but right now it's just not the case. Let me see if I can do it this way and get it a little tighter. Make sure you're spinning it the right way. Oh yeah, that's much better. So let's grip that. Create some more leverage. There we go. Like I said, you want to get it really tight. If you don't get it really tight, then it's gonna leak. So yeah, we still had a few more turns there. I just didn't have enough leverage. That's why you want the two pieces. And when I say crank, I mean it. Don't worry about scratching it up. It's gonna be behind the wall. We just need it to work. All right, that's it. I'm gonna grab a little rag here. And just clean off that excess Pro Dope. And basically that looks like that. So our top and bottom are plumb. Now we need to do right and left, or hot and cold. You know, you don't need much of this, but you want enough of it. You just don't want a super thin layer. You want it to chunk up just a little bit. If you know how to sweat pipe, you know, maybe about the same amount of flux that you're putting on. Ah, we got a bee. Okay, there we go. So now we should be able to spin these on a lot easier. Sometimes I use 2 pairs of vice grips, but I think it's easier with 1 pair of vice grips and one of these. Just depending on how it goes for you. So try it out, but you definitely want 2 tools, because otherwise you're never going to be able to get it on tight enough, as you saw from the first top one. You know, when you put these on, make sure you're not cross-threading them. You should know right away if you're cross-threading them, because it's just not going to feel right. It's not going to sit straight. It's definitely not going to bond, seal tight enough to hold water. Okay, so I'm going to hold that like that. Feel free to open these jaws up so you can grip down. If your hands aren't long enough to grip on that, just open it up a little more. This gives you a nice tight grip though. And basically you just start turning the top and both of them spin and tighten down. So years ago, I learned this, maybe about 10 years ago. I was plumbing a shower. I'm a tile person by trade, and I was creating a new shower in my house, and I didn't want to pay for a plumber, and I was pretty sure I could do this part. I went ahead and bought all the PEX stuff, the crimp. The crimp, I guess you call it a crimp wrench, a crimper. That's the most expensive thing, the thing that crimps the rings on. So I had that, and I was ready to go for it. Actually, you don't even need PEX crimp ring. You can just, well, actually you do, because you got to crimp these on, and then you can use shark bite if you want. But if you're ever doing any plumbing or you're a homeowner, it might be a good idea to invest in some PEX tools and learn how to sweat pipe, or learn how to sweat pipe, or both. They're both key ingredients to the remodel process, and you know, they've made me a lot of money on top of the money I'm already making setting tile. So it's a good skill to have because plumbers are expensive. So you can either save money or make a good buck, help out a friend, whatever. I think we're good. But let me just try one more crank on this thing. And you can see the best leverage you're gonna have is probably like right here. So just keep going as far as you can. I think we still got some turning to do. And yeah, my left hand hurts a little bit from holding the handles. That's why I like the crescent wrench, because I don't have to keep the handle tight. As you can see, it's not the easiest thing. All right, but it's not that hard either. Gosh, I hate when the crescent is a little too big and it locks into the edge. Super annoying. Okay, let's hold the other side that we were cranking on with the crescent. I'm pretty sure that this other side is tightened down with us, but let's just make sure. Let's open this up so I can get a little break with my hand there. Oh, it's not tight enough. There we go. All right, we are there, guys. All right, let's clean that off. So now we can touch it, not get goop all over us. And that's how that's gonna look. Okay, so now we want to find our top. There's a label up, and this also has an up on it, and there's only screw holes on the one side, so it's pretty easy to not mess it up. Screw that back on. You were definitely happy that you had it off. Okay, I'm gonna spin that off. I'm gonna do one more thing before we go. And just okay. So I wanted to show you the valve cartridge. Okay, very important. All the rubber O-rings, all the gaskets, all the stuff is in there. This is where you attach your handle right here. There's a temperature stop right here. I always move it over to the hot all the way, and then I pull it back too. And then that's gonna be, basically that goes, you don't want the full scalding hot water, but if you like to take hot showers, this should be good enough if you go hot all the way and then pull it back too. Okay, there's a big H on the side. Most of the time your hot water line in the wall is going to be on the left side. So basically you want your hot on the left. So top, hot on the left. See the two holes in there? That's where those two rubber gaskets are going to go into. And it's going to be a really tight fit. Once you get to this point, see a little cutout right there? You gotta push really hard to get the seals in. Pop, you'll feel it pop. Sometimes it'll want to push you back out, but if you can get it to close to there, you can take your ring, your collar ring, bonnet ring, I think, and just hand tighten that, and you are good to go. You're good for installation. That's what it looks like when it's done and ready to go. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Delta shower valve rough-in. It's a good skill to have. Thank you for watching my video, and if you liked it, there's plenty more where that came from. So if you could hit that subscribe button, you'd really help us out, and give us a like. All right, guys. Thanks, and happy remodeling out there.